We're officially started.
Hey, welcome everybody. I'm just gonna give it a minute or so. I can see a lot of people in the lobby. Hey, welcome everybody. My name is Michael Oriahi, from the IESO. Today's presentation is going to be hosted by Nicole and Asia, who are on camera. And I'm just going to give a quick housekeeping items, and Nicole is gonna repeat a few of them as well. For the most part, if you have a question, I would recommend keeping it to the end of the session. And at the end of the webinar, we'll open it for questions, and you can raise your hand or put your questions in the chat. If you have any questions throughout the session, you can drop it in the chat as well. Myself and Melise would keep track of that. Over to you, Nicole.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael. And hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. Welcome to today's webinar on the Expanded Energy Management Program. I'm really excited to be here today to discuss this program that we'll refer to as EEM or Expanded Energy Management throughout. We continue to have strong interest in this program, so it's great to see so many of you here today with us. This is a follow-up session to the session that we had in December. Don't worry if you weren't at the December webinar, we will cover everything again at a high level. But the objective of our session today is to provide you with enough information to determine if your organization is a good fit for the EEM program, with the goal of converting your interest to EEM as a participant. For those who haven't met me, I'm Nicole Heinum. I'm the supervisor at the ISO's custom business programs in the DSM team, and I'll be providing the opening remarks and facilitating today's session. I'm also joined by my colleague Asia Staples, the program advisor for the custom business program. She leads the expanded energy management program activities, and she's going to provide the overview of the program. And then Michael Arahi is going to come back and do the Q&A, and we've left plenty of time for that. Before we dive into the program itself, I wanted to talk a little bit about the importance of the Save on Energy programs from the perspective of system needs. So as our electricity system continues to evolve, energy efficiency and demand-side management programs remain an indispensable resource for Ontario's reliable, affordable, and sustainable electricity grid. To build up and to build out our system at an accelerated pace, the skills that are required require the marketplace to evolve along with us at an even faster pace. One of the tools that customers can use and how we can build these future skills in demand side management space is through participation in the Save on Energy programs. And for example, today's topic, the Expanded Energy Management Program. The EM program is available today because of financial support from Natural Resources Canada's Green Industrial Facility and Manufacturing Program, also known as GIFMP. And we have received $20 million to support 4 initiatives that engages in different demand side management capability building initiatives. The goal of this offering is to save 3.5 terawatt hours of demand electricity reduction, and also expand the energy management offering and deepen the capabilities of those that participate. So we'll talk a bit more about what that looks like today. But we also want to make sure that industrial customers have a tailored approach to these programs and to support and meet you where you're at to help you build, the capabilities that you need in your organization. So what's in it for you as an organization? In addition to the system benefits that I just spoke about, there's a number of benefits that this program will offer. For example, increased profitability, competitiveness, you can boost your efficiency at your operating plants, and then build expertise in your organization. So to get us started, I know it's right after lunch and it's Thursday afternoon, so we're going to toss it over to you first with a poll. And so I will pause while they pull up the poll. So the question for the poll is, um, where could your organization benefit from support when it comes to strategic energy management planning? And
So you should be able to see the poll on the screen. And at the top of the screen, you can see that you can join this poll by going to menti.com and using the code that is outlined there.
awesome. Thank you, Melis. So we'll give everyone a second. And it updates in real time, correct, Melis? Oh, beautiful. Okay, so answers are still coming in. So we see a good mix of, people looking to have GHG reduction strategies, energy efficiency, identify energy efficiency opportunities, support with resourcing, actionable data insights, and some folks that are like, where do we begin? We don't have a plan yet. So good news, you're in the right spot. This program can help you address all of these things. So thank you for participating and for taking a moment to complete the poll. We'll go back to the presentation now. I just wanted to go through a few housekeeping items before I hand it to Asia. So to ensure we stay through within the hour, we're going to ask that we go through the presentation and then we'll address questions at the end. Everyone is on mute except for the presenters. So raise your hand or put your question in the chat and we will make sure to address them. And with that, I will hand it over to my friend Asia.
Thank you, Nicole, for that introduction, and thank you everyone for being here. I'm excited to be talking to you about the Expanded Energy Management Program. So we're going to do a bit of an overview, go over some FAQs, hopefully answer a lot of your questions about the program, and then we'll leave time for discussion. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about what Nicole referenced. This program is presented through Save On Energy, with financial support from Natural Resources Canada as part of their Green Industrial Facilities and Manufacturing Program. And what it's allowed us to do is build and expand on our existing Strategic Energy Management Program to offer even more tools for you to use as you pursue your strategic energy management goals. So the purpose of this funding is to maximize energy performance, reduce greenhouse gas emissions, as well as support your competitiveness of industry in Canada. And we will be focusing on energy efficiency and energy management solutions through these offerings. A little bit high-level background in terms of eligibility here and what's offered. So for-profits, up to 50% of project costs are incentivized, and for government entities, Indigenous organizations, as well as not-for-profits, it can be up to 100%. All projects must be completed by March 31st, 2027. And there's a few levels of eligibility criteria, but one of the foundational ones is the NAICS code of your facilities. So if you have facilities that fall under any of these NAICS codes, you definitely want to be checking out this offering. And these are also available on our website and in our documentation, so they're easily found and easily referenced. So to talk about the expansion of our Strategic Energy Management offering, this offer EM is offered to industrial facilities in Ontario, and it focuses on 4 areas. So one is energy practitioners training. We offer free training, energy manager support, which we're excited to give updates on today. And then the expanded strategic energy management cohorts and curriculum that we offer, as well as energy management information systems. So we'll go over these in a little bit more detail. And as a whole, what you can expect is a tailored energy approach. That's what's really fantastic about this program and what we're excited to offer, is that you have access to energy coaches and resources that can tailor this offering to the specific needs of your facility. And that starts at the beginning with an initial assessment call. So you'll be talking to an expert energy coach who will go through your business needs with you and talk to you to help you identify the opportunities that are going to work for you. There's also streamlined application support throughout the program. So this is not just at the beginning thing, it's continuous throughout the program. So these are some of the things that you can expect through your participation. So first off, I want to talk a little bit about the Energy Practitioners Training. So this is free training that is offered to support you in the activities of the Expanded Energy Management Program. And one of the needs identified was for some support with energy management information systems. So we have two areas built here. One is, if you're wondering what is an energy management information system, or what kind do I need, or what's going to work for me, we have training support that can help you make sure you identify the best fit for your facilities, as well as continuous training about how to get the most of that system, how to implement it, how to make sure that you're leveraging it to get the best insights you can into the workings of your energy systems in your facilities. We also have sustaining operational energy savings focus, which will involve small workshops and other offerings that are being developed as we speak. So that's a brief oversight of the training component. EM also offers energy manager support. So this provides funding for hiring and retaining energy managers. As you know, energy managers can play a very significant, very critical role in terms of making sure that you're identifying, implementing, executing on your energy goals, as well as creating that culture in your organization of energy efficiency. So to be eligible, one of the main criteria is to be working towards certified energy manager certification, being on the pathway to that or having it already. And what I want to say about this too is that there's support in this area as well. If you're wondering what's involved with that, how do you go about that, where do you need to go, our coaches will help you with that. We also have the fees for that paid through this funding. So your training fees, your certification fees, your professional dues, things like that are all covered in the funding. And the funding limit is up to $100,000 per facility per year, and that will cover up to 50% of the costs of the energy manager. So part of the reason we were holding this webinar at this time is that we have a significant update in terms of this offer and what it means. So until June 30th, 2025, organizations who join the program will have the opportunity to apply this funding to an existing employee at their organization. And this was in response to market feedback around the impact of the US tariffs right now. The goal of this funding is to support organizations in achieving their energy goals, as well as GHG reduction and maintaining competitiveness. So this was something that we were able to offer on a temporary basis to encourage you to take the benefits of this funding. In terms of what this means for applying and participating, there's very little change. It's really the same process. So when you look at our program documents, when you talk to the coaches, when you do your assessment, it's all the same rules and criteria, but now you are able to apply it to retain an existing resource. So some of the benefits, just a little summary here of the benefits of participating in the Energy Manager component. Like we were talking about, up to 50% of hiring and retention costs and what that includes. You get periodic check-ins with a coach. So you have support from an expert who can help you think through challenges, help you develop your energy plan. Some of the activities included in this is an energy management assessment, which will help you identify gaps in your current operations, as well as development of M&V approach, which can be really foundational in terms of setting your targets and monitoring your progress. There's also an optional energy scan, which involves an actual walkthrough to identify areas of energy waste in your facilities, as well as lots of training opportunities, invitations to workshops and clinics and things of that nature. So very comprehensive support on the Energy Manager side. Which brings us to the third component of the program, which is strategic energy management. And this is really where you can even get a deeper level of support in terms of executing your energy management strategy. And what it is cohorts and curriculum where you're able to embed, knowledge and practices into your approach. So this includes a combination of education and training, coaching, peer-to-peer knowledge, as well as technical support. And two of the updates to our current strategic energy management offering is that the curriculum has been expanded to include all fuel sources. So it's moved beyond electricity to include gas and other fuels as well. And there is included long-term emission reduction planning and setting GHG reduction targets. So we're really excited to expand on this already very comprehensive offering and bring it to market. On this slide, it just gives you a little bit of a deeper drill down into the topics of where you can be supported through SEM participation. So it's really meant to build your capacity for energy management at your organization, and it supports you in planning, operational integration, engaging employees and creating that culture of energy efficiency, as well as setting up your monitoring reporting, and identifying opportunities like the energy scan I was speaking about before. That's also a part of the SEM. So in summary, some of the key benefits is you get small group workshops. Really working with your peers is some of the feedback we've had is one of the most valuable parts of this component, that you're able to share knowledge in real time with others in your industry to benefit your energy work. There's also regular one-on-one coaching. So you have that tailored, dedicated support, the peer learning, which I've referred to. This component also has program incentives. So there is a performance incentive. It's a fee per kilowatt hour, where if you achieve certain energy savings, there's a performance incentive paid for that. As well as if you reach certain milestones, you can have an enabling incentive applied, which allows you up to $5,000 to buy meters or equipment or services or other things that can support your energy efficiency goals. And these are also like a pretty significant benefit as part of participating in this component. So this brings us to the fourth component, which is Energy Management Information Systems, or EMIS. You can receive funding up to $250,000 for the installation of one of these systems. It's a two-tiered system. So for those with baseline consumption of 40,000 gigajoules or less, the incentive is up to 50,000. And if it's above, it's up to 250,000. And that will pay for up to 50% of the project cost. And so these systems can be really powerful, and they're designed to provide organizations with energy-related data and insights, so it'll help you effectively manage. I'm sure some of you have them or are very familiar with them. This is also a very key component of EEM. It's just a brief overview. This is also on our program documentation and website. You can find this, but just gives you a little bit of the criteria for being able to implement one of these systems. So the first bullet point really involves components of the SEM program. So things like commitment to an energy management policy, a designated energy manager. And this is an example of how these different components work together to support each other. So if you're interested in an EMIS, you can participate in SEM, and it will greatly support you in being able to implement that measure. You do need someone, a certified energy manager, someone with similar technical certification to be able to implement it. And you will have support in creating a measurement, verification, and reporting plan. That's one of the criteria that you have before implementation. And then the last bullet point is just about the timelines involved. So you need to submit the application and be approved before you start the project. And like all of these offerings with EEM, the project must be completed by March 31st, 2027. In summary, some of the benefits of this: up to 50% project cost of equipment installation, as well as the M&B plan. You'll be reducing energy costs, so it really gives you that visibility in terms of that insight into your budgeting and forecasting with your energy costs that you're working with. Improving performance, so it allows you to set and monitor targets. It gives you better analytic ability, and you can more easily identify those areas of waste. And accountability, so from a reporting perspective, you can create KPIs. You can report to various levels of the organization, and you can monitor this and discuss this with your teams as part of that energy efficiency culture that you're looking for. We just had a few testimonials from our current strategic energy management program. Better to hear it from the participants than me. So in their own words, this is Drew Cullen, one of the energy managers that's participating currently, said, "Participating in the Strategic Energy Management Program this year has really taken me to another level as an energy manager." So that's another example of how these 4 components support each other in terms of creating the movement you want at your organization. Greg Carruthers from Prestran Industries says, "I can't speak more highly about having an energy coach that I can bounce ideas off of and meet with monthly." So that's part of that, what you can expect from this program. You have coaches available, you have people you can talk things through with, and create the results that you want. And here for Magna's reputation for world-class manufacturing is built around a strong commitment to continuous improvement. The implementation of strategic energy management best practices has played a critical role in helping us achieve ongoing energy and cost reductions across our facilities. So we really are focused with this program in providing you support to get, the real world impacts on your business, on your energy, through these offerings. So just before we move into the question and answer period, there's a few commonly asked questions that we thought we could bring up at this time as well, so that everybody can be informed. One question we get sometimes is, are all energy types eligible for the program? So under EEM, you're expected to report all fuels involved, from electricity, natural gas, and other stationary combustion fuels to the ISO through the program reporting period. So you'll have support in setting that up and understanding how to do that if that's something that's new. But it is an all fuels program at this point. Another question we've often been asked is, can an organization with multiple facilities be combined under one application? So if you are participating in SEM, Energy Manager, or the EMIS measure, they all have different gigajoule baseline thresholds for consumption to be eligible. So for example, for SEM, it's 20,000 gigajoules. For Energy Manager, it's 50,000. And then the EMIS has that 2-tiered system based on the 40,000. And this is all on our landing page on our website. You can see it there. For the Energy Manager and the Strategic Energy Management offerings, you can combine up to 5 facilities to meet that threshold. So if you are looking for an Energy Manager and you have multiple facilities to meet that threshold, that could be your eligibility criterion. That manager would manage those facilities. For the EMIS incentive, it cannot be aggregated that same way. So the EMIS implementation is per facility. So that's one of the main differences for those measures in terms of the eligibility criteria. And the last question I'll go over with you here is, are the incentives for Energy Manager support or energy management systems a one-time event? So just to give a little insight into the funding structure, the EM program provides funding to employ a full-time energy manager working in your facilities, up to $1,000 per year per 12-month period. So half of that incentive is paid at the beginning and half of that incentive is paid at the end. And of course, there's milestones that you will be participating in order to meet your obligations under the program. Things like, creating an energy policy, and doing scans and these types of things. The SEM performance incentives are paid on an annual basis. So those performance incentives come directly from what the organization is reporting in terms of their energy savings. And that's worked through with the coaches and your cohorts to develop those reports. And then for energy management systems, that incentive is applied after the implementation of the system and the project is complete. So that gives you a sense of how those incentives works in terms of timing and schedule. To participate, you can register on our website. There's a contact form at the bottom. If you use the QR code on the page, it'll take you directly to the contact form. If you prefer to use email, you can email us at sem@ieso.ca. And the next step in that process is that you will be contacted and scheduled for an intake call with one of our expert energy coaches who will talk to you about your organization, your business needs, and what this program can offer. So thank you for giving me the time to explain some of this program, and I'll pass it over to Michael.
Thanks, Asia and Nicole, for your presentation. Do you mind leaving it on the previous slide? That way people have access to the link for the website as well as the email and the QR code. So I'm just going to go through some questions that we are seeing in the chat. The first question was from Tyson, asking if the presentation would be shared. I did respond in the chat, but yes, we will be sharing the presentation deck with all participants today. Another question in the chat was, how does an organization participate? I did put the link in the chat, but it's also on the screen. Going down there, there was a question asking about energy storage and if this is covered under the program. Nicole or Mohammed, do you want to take that?
Ahmed, do you want to take this one? Oh, okay. So we did have, Mohammed did indicate that there are not incentives available through this program, specifically the EEM, but there are programs, there is opportunities potentially depending on the project. And of course, the devil is always in the details with these projects. So if you wanted to reach out to, I'll put the RSP link in the chat, so our retrofit service provider link in the chat. You can reach out and discuss your specific project around energy storage.
Thanks, Nicole. The next question in the chat is, what opportunities are there for a facility with low energy consumption, so 1 gigajoule, to learn about SEM if they don't have multiple facilities?
There is a gigajoule baseline requirement that you will have to meet to participate. If you are interested in talking about other opportunities, you can definitely contact us. It would be good to know what you're looking for and how we might be able to help.
And I think selfish plugin, we do have training focused on energy management strategies. So if you go on the Save on Energy website, there's a training and support page and an event calendar. So you can enroll. There's a page on strategic energy management, but we have recurring training really focused on SEM practices as well. You don't get the full benefits of participating in SEM, of course, but if you don't meet the eligibility to participate, that's also an avenue where you can get some training. The next question here is, how long does it take to get an employee certified as an energy manager? I don't know if Nicole wants to take this one.
Asia came off mute, so over to you, Asia.
I was going to pass it to Christy. Christy, are you able to answer that question?
And this is, what does it take to fund an energy manager?
So how long does it take to get an employee certified as an energy manager?
Thanks for that question. So to achieve certified energy manager designation, there is a 1-week course that's offered. Sometimes that's offered over multiple weeks, but typically 5 days of training and an examination for the CEM designation. To become certified, there is a number of years of experience in the field, but to qualify for the energy manager funding, one only has to be working toward that. So you can be a certified energy manager in training and still qualify under the program rules.
And in addition to that, Save on Energy does offer 50% incentives on the course fees and up to 75% if you're an Enbridge customer as well to take the CEM course. The next question is for either Asia or Nicole. So for the 50% salary for the energy manager, is there a limit on the number of years for that offer?
Can you repeat that again, Michael?
So for the energy manager stream, the salary, is there a limit on the number of years that is offered?
Yeah, it's offered up to 2 years. Yeah.
And they don't need to apply a second time, just that one application covers 2 years. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's no need for a second application. Part of the energy manager offering is meeting certain SEM milestones and reporting on certain progress that you're making and things like that. But there's no second year requirement to apply again.
Thank you.
Michael, I was going to say, I'm not sure if you see it, but we have a bunch of questions in the Q&A, and there's also Tyson has his hand raised, so maybe I can allow his microphone so that he can ask his question.
I'm Tyson.
Yeah, so Tyson, I allowed your mic, so you can unmute yourself. Go for it.
I think you guys can hear me now. Nice presentation. I especially appreciate the EMIS portion of your program. It's very interesting. It's something we will look to leverage. My question's along the lines of, especially for the subsidy for the energy manager, is that stackable? And I'm going to add a caveat on there specifically. Is that stackable if we've already got the subsidy through GIF-MP?
Oh, Tyson, we knew you'd ask this question. So, and we figured it's probably on a lot of other people's minds. So yes, it is stackable on top of NRCan funding that you received up to 75% of the funding.
Okay, and that, just to be clear, the 75% of the funding, I think you showed it earlier, it's salaries, training, it's not just the employee's salary, right? There's a number of costs that we can loop into there.
Correct.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm gonna go to the Q&A portion for a minute. So the first question on there says, what are the typical types of questions that are asked during the call interview for the energy manager funding? Christy?
I heard the last part of it, Michael. The first part I didn't catch. I'm sorry.
So it's what kind of questions are asked during the call interview for the energy manager funding? So if someone wants to participate and they reach out during that first call, what kind of questions can they expect to be asked?
Gotcha. So when you connect with a coach, we will talk about your current plans, your energy targets, goals as an organization, and we'll also answer any questions that you have about the program and ensure that you're choosing the right tracking components of the Expanded Energy Management Program and walk you through the application process.
Thanks, Christy. So there's a question, I think this we've answered in regards to sharing the slide deck. Oh yeah, there's a question here that says, would this funding be available for municipalities?
We are exploring commercial and institutional options, and we'll have updates on that in future. If your facilities at a municipality have that NAICS code, it's possible that you may be able to participate here if you have the gigajoule baseline threshold required.
You just answered the next question from Nathan.
Okay.
There's a question here on the EMIS portion of the program. Can energy tracking and analysis software like Energy Cap be considered as eligible for EMIS incentives?
That's a great question. Yes, it can be considered eligible.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm just looking for the next question. Someone said, can smart metering solutions be considered as well?
Just getting some information from our EMISF expert. Yes, they are also eligible.
Okay, I think we've answered that question. So someone said, for retaining the current resource for June 30th funding, does this employee have to solely be focused on energy management, or can they have an overall energy management role that includes energy management?
They have to be a full-time resource fulfilling the duties of an energy manager. So I suggest, if you have specific questions that are unique to your situation, to reach out and you can talk through it. That would probably be the best path.
And there was a question from Cal. It says, if you have an existing EMIS but are looking to switch providers, can you still leverage the EMIS funding? Mohammed did respond on there. He said we would need more details to determine the eligibility in general. So our recommendation would be reach out to that email and we can have the conversation. We have a few hands up. Tyson.
Yeah, at one point in the presentation, somebody talked about that there's a potential performance incentive program. Could you give a little bit more details on what that is, what it looks like, and how that would be applicable?
Yeah, sure. That's part of the strategic energy management offering, and that's existing in our current program and will be part of expanded energy or previous program and will be part of expanded energy management as well. So as part of that program, you're creating energy plans and identifying projects to decrease your energy consumption. And it's an annual report in which you report on those, and there is a fee per kilowatt hour in which you can get that performance incentive. And I'll maybe just ask Christy if you'd have anything that you'd want to add to that.
The performance incentive is on verified electricity savings for eligible measures and paid at 2 cents per kilowatt hour.
Is there a cap in there?
Yep. So for each 12-month reporting period, the cap is $100,000 per participant.
Okay, not per project, per participant.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Typically, that's measured using a modeled baseline of your facility or facilities. But happy to talk more about that in a coaching call.
Thanks.
And Emerson? Elise, could you please take Emerson?
Oh, sorry, I'm off mute now. So I just had a question about the energy manager information systems. Are there specific information systems that are eligible for the funding? I'm wondering because I was wondering if our SCADA system would be eligible as well. That's where we're currently metering data.
I don't know if we can take Mohammed off mute. He'd be best suited to answer that question.
Elise, could you help us take Mohammed Yusuf off mute?
Can you remind me of his last name?
Yusuf?
Mohammed Yusuf.
Yeah, it should be good now.
Oh, thank you. Here we are. Great. Sorry. Apologies, but can you repeat the question?
Hey, Mohammed, just looking to see if specific energy manager information systems are eligible for funding, or if something like our SCADA system might be eligible. That's where we're currently metering. All our metering data is collected and exported to reports from there.
Yeah, great question. I think for energy management information system, I mean, this could be a hardware, software, or a process. So this could include SCADA systems as well, or you can leverage your SCADA systems. So that should be eligible as well.
Perfect.
Thanks,
Thank you very much.
The next question, I think I can take this question. So it says, for retaining an existing energy manager with CEM, are there incentives for other certification training related to energy management? Yes, we do have incentives for up to, I think, 18 or 19 courses. So if you go to the training and support page on the Save on Energy website, I am going to drop it in the chats, but on there you would see the list of training courses that we offer incentives of up to 50%. And then for some courses, it's up to 75%. So this includes the CMVP, CSBO, energy modeling, amongst other training courses. I just dropped the link in the chat. The next question is, how does the funding work for the MS? Is it a dollar for dollar match, or can you get up to 250 as long as you meet all the requirements and show meet all the criteria you showed in the presentation with no spend required by the company?
I can answer that, Michael. So there are two tiers for EMIS. We have you can get qualified for up to $50,000, but your annual energy consumption should be below 200,000 gigajoule, or you could be qualify for up to $250,000 if your annual consumption is greater than 200,000 gigajoule. So as long as you meet the requirements that's outlined on the website, then yes, you would be eligible to receive those incentives.
And I think the second part of the question is, would the company need to cover any costs? So for example, if the total cost is 250, would they receive?
Yeah, so it's capped at 50% of the cost. Yeah.
Thanks, Mohammed. The next question is, I think we kind of answered this, but it's, are municipal wastewater treatment plants eligible?
I believe they are. Double check that NAICS code that you fall under it, but I believe so.
Thank you. It says, is it possible to provide the co-pilot summary of questions and answers together with the presentation after the webinar?
We can put together a question and answers, no problem.
Thanks, Nicole. There's a question here on solar PV. I think, Mohammed, you would need to come off mute again. So it says, what questions are available? What incentives are available for solar PV?
Not related to Expanded Energy Manager, but we do have offering for solar incentives under our residential program and under our business programs, which is under the retrofit program. So for businesses, there are basically two offerings. One is up to 10 kilowatt DC at $1,000 per kilowatt DC at 50% of project cost. And the second category is the that is reference to the microgeneration category, and anything above 10 kilowatt up to 1 megawatt AC would qualify for $860 per kilowatt at 50% of project cost. More details can be referred to the retrofit website, and if you send us an email, we can happily point you to the right place.
Thanks, Mohammed. Emerson, I see your hand up.
Hey, just another question on the Energy Manager information systems. I seen in the webinar there was a slide that had talked about support, about what is right for our facility and how to get the most out of our system. Is that a course, or would that be just through our SEM coach?
I can speak to that. So one of the components of the EEM program is training, and the training is going to focus on two main parts. So the first part is in that deciding what system is right for you, and integrating that into your system, into your existing processes and systems. And then the second part is, of course, sustaining projects, I guess. But yes, it comes at no cost. It's not necessarily a training course. It's going to be a series of workshops and hands-on coaching that we would be delivering as part of this program. So if you're interested in getting that, you can get that training even if you're not getting an MS through the program. And if you're getting an MS through the program, you can also get that training as well. So it's open to pretty much everyone who is interested in that information.
And who would I reach out for that information?
So if you just send an email to, so you'd go through the same process. So if you send an email to sem@ieso.ca, you'd be added to the number of people who are interested, and we would reach out to you to see what kind of training works best for you.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
No worries. Another question here says, do Class A THES customers become eligible for this offering?
I'm not sure the answer to that question. That if you are an organization that meets the gigajoule threshold and the NAICS codes, those are the primary criteria for participating in the program. So I'm not sure if there's someone here better able to answer that, but regardless of the class, those are the criteria for participation.
Thanks, Asia.
Maybe, Asia, there was another question about how many Ontario companies exceed 20K gigajoules. I don't know that we have an answer to that, but I wanted you to clarify, because we've been talking about gigajoule. That is electricity, natural gas, all sources of energy combined, correct?
Yes.
That's correct. And it's a great question.
Correct.
I don't know the answer to it, but yes, that is correct.
That is correct. And maybe just to highlight that, and under the program, there are two thresholds, right? So if you are up to 400,000 gigajoule, you get up to 50K. And if you are above that, your annual consumption, you could qualify for up to $250,000. I think previously I mentioned 200,000 gigajoules, so just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, I
Thanks,
think I had
Megan.
said 400,000, and that's for the EMIS measure. And then there's
that's correct.
gigajoule thresholds for the energy manager and the SEM.
The next question says, if you're unemployed, can you get the incentives to become a CEM? The answer is no. One of the requirements to be able to get that incentive is you have to be employed, and your role has to involve energy management, or you have to be working in something related to energy management. The next question says, are these programs available that don't have the listed NAICS code, but do some of the listed activities?
The NAICS code was part of the criteria that established with NRCan as part of this funding in terms of the industry that they were looking to support. So you wouldn't qualify based on some of the activities, but again, reach out to us. We might have other ways to help you.
There's a question from someone from Quantify Environment. So they said they provide turnkey EMIS solutions, and they wanted to find out if the support services and annual licensing costs are eligible under the program. Mohammed or Asia?
Yeah, Michael, are you referring? Sorry, are you referring
Mohammed.
to? Yeah, are you referring to Dave's question?
Yes.
Yeah. So in terms of licensing cost, eligible under the program, I don't, the license, the initial, I guess the one-time cost is probably, or the first year subscription could be considered eligible, but any recurring cost would not. But if you have more information, definitely send it to the program and we can take a closer look at this.
Yeah, thanks. I think the big call to action is if you have any questions that were not answered today, or you are interested in the program, either visit the EEM webpage or contact us at sem@ieso.ca. Currently, I do not see any other questions. Oh, Andrew did a quick calculations for us. Yeah, he said 400,000 gigajoules. That's 1.111 megawatt hours. Thanks a lot,
Thanks,
Andrew.
Andrew.
If you have any other questions, please raise your hand. I think there's one in the Q&A. So it says, does EMIS require pre-approval to be able to get the incentives?
I guess it depends what is meant by pre-approval. So once your application is approved, then
I think the question is,
sorry,
do they need to get pre-approval before they get the EMIS, I guess?
Yeah, I can answer that.
Yeah.
So the EMIS offer is under the retrofit scheme. So you would need to submit an application, get pre-approval, and then once the system is installed, it will be post-approved and the incentive will be paid.
And we really recommend that you go through the EEM website and have a full conversation with the coach to make sure that you take advantage of the EMIS, but also the other offerings. They are really meant to reinforce and work together.
There's a question here for Nicole and Asia on the energy managers portion of things. It says there are first come, first served elements, while stock lasts elements to this. Do you want to address that, or do you have any comments regarding that?
Asia?
Yeah, thank you for your question. We do have funding, we don't anticipate exceeding the funding, but we don't know what the interest is either. So we'll see who applies, who reaches out to us in the next few weeks and months. And that's something we would actively manage in terms of what we're seeing in terms of uptake. So if you are interested, please do reach out and talk to a coach so that we can get a sense of if this offering would work for you.
It is a perfect segue into the closing if there's no more questions. Oh, Michael, one last question. You want to give it?
Yeah, so I think the question might be a segue into what we're about to talk about. It says, will the program expand to the commercial sector?
Asia, can I give you one last answer on this webinar?
Sure. We are actively exploring that. Stay tuned. We will provide communication when we can on the commercial and institutional sector.
And there's one more question. Either Nicole or Mohammed could answer this. It says, what is the retrofit service provider? Is it a separate program?
Oh, Mohammed, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, sure. So under our Save on Energy program, we do have a suite of programs that cover commercial and industrial offering. You can visit the Save on Energy website that's shown on the slide to get familiarized with all the offering. Yeah, so the retrofit program is one program that's basically offered under the Save on Energy. EMIS as a measure is offered under retrofit. So in order to apply for an energy management information system, you need to go through the retrofit program process, which involves pre-approval and post-approval.
And the retrofit service providers, because we've got different service providers through Save on Energy supporting different regions, if you put your question into retrofit service provider, the link and number that was provided, someone can help you get to the right spot. Any more questions?
I just dropped a link in the chat to all of our business programs. So that includes the retrofits, the EM, and all other programs available to various businesses.
You really missed an important program that I want to close
I'm
with.
waiting for you to close
Thank
with
you.
that.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
So thank you. So before we close today, well, first thing I just want to say it's wonderful to see so many engaged participants on this webinar. It's awesome. There's a lot of interest in this program. So, and I think Dean, you said it really well. It's first come, first serve. So hopefully this, this webinar today will drive some action and help you enroll into this program. Before I close off the session, I did want to take a minute to highlight a few of the Save on Energy program updates for industry. So I wanted to talk quickly about the Industrial Energy Efficiency Program. I know many of you are aware on the call, but if you aren't, there is an opportunity for you to get up to $5 million in financial incentives for large industrial energy efficiency projects. We've got a team of folks here to help you do project ideation, work your way through the project, and help you with any of your needs and discussions that you may have, questions that you have around that. The other thing I wanted, the funding window for that does close at the end of June this round. So, we're getting closer till the end of that program offering. That doesn't mean the end of the industrial programs. We actually are in the midst of designing the new industrial offering. So I just wanted to make everyone aware of some of the stakeholdering opportunities that are coming up that you are welcome to participate in. We would love your feedback on these programs, either through informal engagement or for a formal stakeholder engagement session. So the first I would make everyone aware of, and you can find these on our Stakeholder Engagement Day website, which I think Michael said he would put in the chat for everyone, or maybe Asia will put in the chat. But basically, there's one on the overarching framework, the new EDSM 12-year framework, and that is on April 24th at 10 a.m. So you can register for that. This will be followed by the industrial formal stakeholder engagement. The date for that hasn't been landed on yet, but just to put on your radar, it will be part of the May engagement days. So that's May 21st through May 23rd. We would love to get your thoughts, especially you that are heavy users of these programs, so that we can make them work for you. We've got committed industrial funding from 25 to 27, years 2025 to 2027, for 110 million in program funding. So, we want to make sure that we can get projects out the door and support your organization. So please do reach out to us if you want to give feedback one-on-one or participate in one of these sessions. One other thing I would call attention to is our Energy Manager Excellence Awards are coming up on September 27th. I know that seems far away, but it is a great event. It's well attended. We've got some of the award winners on the call today. But the other thing I would mention about this is we're accepting submissions. So if you think your organization has done some really awesome, cool, excellent things in energy management last year, please do reach out to put in your proposal or submission, I should say, not proposal, that sounds daunting, your submission, so that we can celebrate your awards. And Michael, you at the awards, Michael just put the link in the chat as well. I wanted to quickly say thank you all for coming today, and to thank everyone who presented today, Asia, Michael, Mohammed, Christy, Melis, for your support on the Q&A, and to our delivery partners, Goldfin, Enerva, Clearresult, and ICF, and CIET. Thank you. We couldn't do this program without you. We look forward to the next upcoming webinar. We'll be launching an updated program industrial webinar series that we're going to start to launch out starting in June. So please stay tuned for that and other updates coming your way. And with that, I thank you all and wish you a wonderful day. We're right on time. Good job, everyone.
Take care, everyone. Have a great rest of the week.
Take care.
Thanks,
Bye.
everybody.